Okay, you just saw Out of Body, which is an official selection in the feature film category of the Sherman Oaks Film Festival in 2020. And we are honored to have four of the people who made this film possible. One you already recognize, I'm sure. So before I toss it over to Jason to introduce us to everyone we are getting to talk to here, I just want to say, I think your film was delightful. I think, there's nothing as a programmer I enjoy more than a low budget film that makes everything work with its mind, just smart thinking. The story is so good. Kudos to the two of you here who co-wrote it. I think it works wonderfully as a story. I get that you brought us this great story that takes place in pretty much one place with a person who's trapped there for various reasons. Well, we can spoil it. I mean, his ghost is trapped there. And I just think you do a wonderful job making the most of the idea, telling a fun story. And I got to say, that was the kind of ending that it was like worthy of the best kind of Twilight Zone-y Black Mirror type of writing, where there's a solution that works within the whole universe that you created, and running around with the salt in his pocket so that the other guy won't know, so that the demon can't read his mind. It worked so well. And I have to tell you, I see a lot of really good indie films, of course, with the festival that have disappointing endings. And yours was enjoyable the whole way through, and then it had an ending that was just like, woohoo! It's really fun when you're watching hundreds of films to just come across one that you just find delightful. So thank you so much for Out of Body. That's my spiel and, about it. And now I'll let Jason Gaffney introduce all his collaborators.
Thank you, Jeff, for having us, and thank you to the Sherman Oaks Film Festival for playing Out of Body. We are beyond thrilled. Matt, my husband, and I live in Sherman Oaks, so we are very partial to Sherman Oaks in general. And so I'm Jason T. Gaffney. I co-wrote, directed, and I'm one of the actors in the film. And my husband, Matt Gorlick, is one of the producers of the film. My mom, Suzanne Brockman, is one of the co-writers of the film with me and one of the producers. And my dad, Ed Gaffney, is he helped me direct on set when I was on camera. So he would be my extra set of eyes. And he also kind of acted as miscellaneous other crew, like first AD and things like that, alongside with Matt. So it's very, very family-oriented project with, like you mentioned, it's a low-budget film. And so you make the most of what you've got. And I feel really lucky that I've got a very creative family that's willing to jump in and dive into the trenches of production.
Well, I'm 100% sure that if we were in the theater, if only we'd not had a global pandemic in Sherman Oaks, I love it when Sherman Oaks locals give us great stuff. And but I'm sure a hand would go up in the audience and ask both you and your mom what it was like collaborating on this script together. And I guess maybe Mom should talk about it.
I loved it. Yeah, Mom, jump in.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it was. I loved it too. It was wonderful. I've been a writer for years. I actually write romance novels, romantic suspense, and so I've had a 25-year plus career as a romance writer, and Jason has always been creative and he has written a lot of scripts. And what was it, Jason? You were doing a staged reading of an early draft of Out of Body. So he came, the table read, yes, sorry. And I sat in from Florida, which you can do with Zoom, which is wonderful. And I was listening to this early version of the script, and it was a very, what would you say, Jason? Really kind of a broad comedy,
It was
more.
campy, kind of more campy in general. I specialize in comedy. I understand the other genres, but my specialty is comedy, and so you were
Yeah.
listening.
So yeah, so I was sitting there and I was listening to the table read, and I'm thinking the whole time, oh my God, this could be such a romantic story. And I wonder if Jason, and like I wonder what he would say if I said, hey, can I do a pass? Would you mind if I do a revision of your script? And so after the table read, I spoke to him on the phone and I basically said that, right, Jace?
Yeah, yeah. You said I'd love to take a pass at this. Let me know if that's going to bother you. It will be a very different script. And I was like, it's not going to be that different. And it is very different, but it also, the story, like the through arc of the story didn't change too much. There were a couple of specifics that got tweaked to make it stronger as any drafts happen. But what really changed was the elevation of the romance and the actual connections between the two leads and the other characters.
Yeah, because it was when I was listening to the original kind of bones of the story, where the comedy was such a focus. I kept thinking there is this incredible connection between these two characters that I just wanted to get my hands on. And I think I said to you, Jason, I think I said something like, no. When I say revision, I mean I want to take a machete to your script. And is that okay with you? And Jason was like, yeah, sure.
So
I actually,
it sounds like what you did is you just really honed in on the fact that there was a love story underneath all the humor.
Yes. And there's also tragedy. I mean, here's this man who thinks that his best friend, the man he's secretly in love with, is dead. And how do you, there has to be, moments where there are tears, not just laughter. I mean, we it's a romantic comedy, but yeah, but that's just devastating to lose somebody that you're that close to. And I wanted to bring elements of that into the movie. I think we pulled it off.
Excellent. So as a producing team up there, did you once you saw the script and worked out the revisions as a team with your mom, at what point did you decide, okay, we can make this?
So my husband and my production company, My Pet Hippo Productions, has kind of this goal in life to make high quality LGBTQ films that feature LGBTQ characters, women, people of color, etc., as non-stereotypes, as people who just experience the world, and also specifically the LGBTQ genre as just like the main plot isn't about their sexual orientation. It's about them being human. And so we've been working on a strategy to try to make a film a year as a goal. And so we knew there was going to be a film in the upcoming future. And so we were working on Out of Body to really kind of help forward that with our mission statement. And so once we got the script in place, then we really knew it was go time.
Oh my. I just got a note. I just got a note that my internet was unstable for a second and all your screens went black, but you're back. So you're doing a film a year, and I assume you can hear me. And so are you actually, do you always have a stack of script ideas? Are there 3 or 4 or more bubbling at all times, and every once in a while you're saying, okay, this is the one for this year?
Yeah, and yes, and we actually have one that we were gonna be filming in in April of this year, but obviously that did not happen with the pandemic. It's a series called Marriage of Inconvenience, which is a comedy series which is basically a modern retelling of The Odd Couple, where two gay men end up in witness protection together, and are basically enter a new type of witness protection where they get married. They become a married couple in hiding, but they're total opposites of each other, and you get to kind of watch that, the hilarity ensue from that. But there's several other scripts I've been working on. I've written stuff with my dad before. So the kind of collaborating is not unusual, and there's definitely stuff in the pipeline with my mom as well, and even as the three of us collaborate. And we also in quarantine my husband and I managed to produce 3 audiobooks of books that my dad and I co-wrote that we're still finishing up, just because it's different than filmmaking and we're learning the ropes. But yeah, the goal is to keep these LGBTQ films that are set in a world where their sexual orientation isn't the main conflict going, because we want to normalize the fact that, like, we're human, we're just like you and everybody else, you know, and it's and just we suffer the same worries of paying the bills and waking up with someone that you love, and your family being okay, and having a job and all that stuff.
No, it's wonderful, and it works. Yeah, and I enjoyed the inclusiveness of your cast. I think that your supporting cast is great.
Oh yeah.
But I was going to give you some of the standard questions we'd have if we were sitting in the theater in Sherman Oaks. I'm sure a hand would go up and ask, okay, so this is a nice hour and 40-minute film. How long did you shoot for?
What was our final?
2.5 weeks.
It was 2, so it was 14?
12 days.
We did 12 days of actual filming with 2 weekends off, with 2 weekends off in between.
The one thing I will say is that what allows that to happen, because that may seem like a crazy number, is the amount of pre-planning and pre-production that goes into it between Jason and Naisha Schreiner, his brilliant cinematographer who we worked with on a couple projects. I mean, they're mapping out every little thing so that when it's go time, it's go time. And of course, things happen, things change on the fly, as is true of any production, but it's not, okay, let's start filming. What do we want to do today? It's no, here's the shot list, here's the schedule, and we don't have a ton of leeway. So we're going to make it work, and we do.
And it sounds like you were really intelligent in the writing, and you wrote it to the budget you had planned.
Yes,
exactly.
And that's something that basically we start, I like to call it as the vomit draft. I write the vomit draft, which is just get to the end. We can always clean it up. And then we go back and we try to tweak things. So for example, in the film before this, Analysis Paralysis, there's a bunch of scenes that take place inside the main character's head. And one of them experiences someone getting stabbed because he's worried about getting stabbed in his head. And we couldn't afford the insurance of having a knife on set. They wanted us to charge us $5,000 for that one shot. And I was like, we're not going to do that. So we asked them, if we change it to a spoon, does that mean we're in the clear? And they said, yes, you know, there's no extra charge. So basically you start with this, you start with the dream draft, and then you whittle down and you tweak it. And one of the things that my mom and I did with this particular film is we actually wrote the movie to fit the location. And we really tried to tweak it to be like, these are the rooms we have. How can we, like, we're stuck in the house, but how can we make it exciting in the house so that we're not getting bored with the same, like, and have them move from room to room so that at least there's some variety.
And it works, and you know, the story itself it's completely within the film's logic that you don't leave that space, because you have a character who can't leave that space.
I think that when you are producing indie movies, when you are wearing your writer hat, you also have to be wearing your producer hat. And so you're always thinking about how can I make it so that it makes sense for the characters to have to stay in that static kind of one place location. Because anytime you do a company move, it's expensive, and so as writers, we're just like trying to find the stories that are small in location but bigger in ideas, and then make the rules of the world fit the confines of your location. It's something that we've been doing for a while, so we're getting pretty good at it.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And then, all right, so we asked the amazing that it was 12 days of principal photography. That's pretty remarkable accomplishment. And any major challenges during that time, or did it just go wonderfully well?
You want me to handle this one, Jace? Yeah, we had a couple major challenges. All right, the pre-production. Matt talked a little bit about the pre-production. Jason is amazingly creative. So he's got his writer brain going. He can act like crazy. But he's also got the director brain going. So he knows exactly what each shot's going to be. He and Suze have mapped out the whole story. They've got all the scenes ready to go. And they wrote it for this one house. Let's see. I think we were scheduled to start filming. Was it late February?
No, it was September.
Oh, that's right. We ended up there. Right. Okay. It was in September. And the house next door to the house where we were going to be filming was sold and bought by people who were flipping it. And the people who were flipping it had to make the whole thing, like they did a whole construction project.
Beep, beep, beep,
and so suddenly everything had to get delayed. So we asked them, how long was it going to be? We were on hold, et cetera, et cetera. They gave us their best estimate. And so we rescheduled. And now, we got to get the whole crew and the whole cast all organized so that we can do this, because what Matt said is absolutely true. When it is go time, it is go time. I mean, the on-screen stuff you saw of that supporting cast is supported by them also being ready. There is no coddling. Everybody is, we get things in 1-2 takes, and it's because the actors are ready. And they were ready. Everybody's ready, but you got to get them like on the same schedule. And so it took months to reschedule it. We're ready to go in, what was it, February? And we got a date in February, and it's January, and we're doing our thing, and that house just doesn't look like it's
the construction equipment is still coming in, and we're like, what more are they doing?
What could happen now? And it's just so Suze and Jace and Matt put their heads together, and they found another location, and they actually rewrote the script to fit the other location as well as the first location. So we shot this in 2 different houses, even though it looks like it's all shot in one house.
It definitely does. There's no hint of that change.
Well, and I want to.
Good job, Jeff.
I want to add on to what my dad said. Whenever we cast our films, I'm very, very meticulous into making sure. Like, I start with a self-tape from all the actors who are auditioning, and then I move it and I assess who can do the role. And then when they come into the room, it's not a matter of if they can do it. I know that everyone coming into the audition room is talented. Now it's just making sure that they can take direction quickly and that they're a nice person. I don't want my sets to be filled with people who are stressful or divas or any of that kind of stuff. So it really helps when you cast when your whole cast shows up and they're prepared. They know how to take a quick note, and they're willing to do it with a smile on their face, even if we're in a sad scene. And so we were really, really, really lucky that we didn't lose any of our cast that we had hired from the first break to this one, because a lot of times that'll happen, and you'll have your dream cast, and then you'll get postponed, and then it'll be like, oh, they moved to Tallahassee, and that's not in Sherman Oaks at all. And then you have to recast. so we got really lucky, and we were really lucky to get that second location and find a way to merge the two houses with the hallways and stuff.
And
a
I
lot of
assume
that
your cast was oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say a lot of that was Jason and Matt. I mean, Susan and Jason rewrote
Parts of the script to fit the new, like,
but Jason and Matt had an awful lot of work to do and Nisha too, to make sure that the transitions did what you confirmed that they did. We didn't want there to be any hint that these were two different places, and so there was a lot of work that went into that in advance, and the cast being so flexible. Where are we today? Okay, great. You tell me where to go and what to do, and I am ready to do it. And that was a great experience.
And was the cast fairly local, or?
Yeah, I think
all but one, right?
I think all but one. Annie, who plays Pat the Spirit Guide, is actually from Massachusetts, and she is a old friend of mine. We first worked together in a stage production of Singing in the Rain in Massachusetts back when I was like 20 something. I don't know what age I was, 21, 22. And we became friends immediately and have known each other both professionally and as friends since. And so I knew when I wrote this role that I wanted her. And she was actually she happened to be in LA with her husband, and they both read roles for the initial table read, and I knew I wanted Annie to be Pat the Spirit Guide. And so basically when it came time to filming, I basically I called her up and said, is there any way you can conveniently find yourself in LA when we're filming? Because with indie film, flying someone out is expensive. And so she was like, I'll make it work, and she flew out, and they ended up staying out. She and her husband Steve ended up staying out here for a couple months to just be in LA and do stuff. But yeah, no, David, who plays Carl, Gina, who plays Julia, who plays Gina, Max, who plays Rick, and Kevin they're all local. So yeah, we're very lucky that the whole cast was just talent right here at our fingertips.
Yeah, actually, I'm giving you the warning that we're probably going to have to wrap up in a couple minutes. And I know something it's really endearing, I think, that a nice community formed around your film. And I have a feeling that you have a community that's involved in all the films you're doing with one a year. But I thought I'd give you fair warning that maybe it's a good time to do some thank yous and give some shout outs to people who you'd like to mention, because I know you've gotten to mention casts and stuff, but a lot of people I'm sure helped out here.
Oh yeah, we are completely grateful to all of the Kickstarter backers who helped back the film, make it possible. And of course the entire crew. I mean, without the crew and without the cast, the film is just an idea. It's just a piece of paper with some words on it. And it's, and I'm talking about the production crew and the post-production crew. There are some real rock stars. I do want to give an additional shout out to my cousin, Jack Ravina, who helped me edit this film. We've actually got a project in the works as well that we're working on. But he is just a genius editor, director, writer in his own right. And so it's really always fun to work with him. Am I missing anyone?
I mean, you and Kevin. Kevin's
and Kevin. Of course, Kevin. I just assumed that everyone just watched how great Kevin was. So of course,
we worked together a couple times.
Yeah, we've worked together a couple times. Kevin and I worked together on Analysis Paralysis. We actually have a podcast together called The Bright Side with Kevin and Jason, where we every week I tell Kevin a tragic story in history, and we find what good came from it, and we find the humor in tragedy. I love working with Kevin. He is such a staple. Everyone in my cast and all the casts that we put together are people I want to work with over and over and over again. The same goes for the crew. we've worked really hard to form that nice family community feel, because again, as I said, on an indie set, you do not have time for someone who's behaving like a diva. Like there's literally minutes to do each take, and so it's so great. Oh, my mom wants to jump in.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, Jason, you were talking, you know, we're a family production, but the family extends, because Matt's family, Matt comes from the Los Angeles area, and Matt has a really large extended family, and his parents and the family just, like, I mean, it really extends. When you're making an indie movie, it's kind of all hands on deck, and your mom like cooked some of the meals, and your dad just went above and beyond, and it was just, so it's, you know, it really does take a family to
Yes.
to do something like this, and they're just wonderful to have them supporting.
And can we say thank you to you too for this, and for having us in the festival and being able to kind of represent local film and all of that. We're super excited and grateful to be a part of this.
I'll allow it, although but as I like to say, there is no festival without the films, and it is special to have one that was made locally, but it's just, you know, the festival is nothing without quality films, and it's lovely to hear that really this really positive community. I can tell that it was part of the positivity of the production, and that is why it's such a delightful film to view. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that, and Kevin's performance is wonderful, but I think all this positive energy going into your film is why watching it is just so much fun.
Thank you. Great.
Plus all the great ideas. Well, thank you so much. I'm sorry to have to wrap it up, but I gotta do these all day. And, there's another one in 5 minutes. So, but thank you again for the film, and thank you for saying such a nice thing about Sherman Oaks Film Festival. And I'm glad you're local. Hopefully you'll be able to come out to the theater when we're back at the theater next year, and
Absolutely.
our in-person, socially distanced filmmaker mixer and whatnot. So should be great. And thank you, Mom and Dad, for being great parents, and you know, it's really sweet. It's nice. It's not everyone, you know, I love my mom, but yeah, I need time limits.
Well, thank you.
Thanks you, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, thanks everyone. All right, you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too. Be well.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.